Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my college fund to my nephew after my sister found out about it? Hi. For the past 6 years I have been working on different jobs in my crap hole of a country in order to save up and get a real education and a proper job later. My parents were always promising to pay for it, but they never did. At some point I managed to get a scholarship and I used saved money for housing and other bills and spendings. I have a sister and she has a son. She was always complaining how no one ever helped her with money, just like me, but unlike her I wasn't mentioning it that much. I have never mentioned the fund, but my parents have accidentally revealed it to the sister at the latest family gathering. Then my sister immediately turns to me and asks to donate the remaining money to her and her child, saying I could move in back with my parents. My goddamn parents agree with her because family helps family. I obviously refused because I have been saving up for years and now I'm going to need it. Then my sister and parents just turn red, accusing me of being a selfish prick. I quickly fled the family gathering without asking other family members what did they think about it, but I really don't know if I am doing something incorrect or their reaction was the wrong. I would stop calling it a college fund, because really it sounds like it's your life savings. They want you to give up all of your hard-earned life savings to help them out. NTA. They are TA. It would have been fine for them to ask for some help, but to demand all of your savings is incredibly selfish. If family is supposed to help family, why are they trying to hurt you? Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling out my in-laws after they mocked my parents for crying? I, F23, just had a baby. After giving birth I stayed my parents for like 2 months before moving back home my husband. When my husband plus his parents came to pick me up, my parents got emotional saying goodbye. Like yeah, they cried a bit, it was really sweet honestly. We don't live close and they won't see us often. But in the car my in-laws started laughing about it. Like saying oh wow so dramatic and stuff. I just sat there like, are you serious? It felt so mean and disrespectful. I ended up snapping and told them it wasn't funny. Then everyone went quiet and later my husband told me I overreacted. BTW during those 2 months they barely texted or called to check on us, not even when the baby got sick twice. And now they're mocking my parents for caring too much? Man. Am I the a-hole for calling them out? NTA. Your husband told you overreacted because you snapped at your in-laws for laughing at your parents expressing quite understandable emotions. I am so sorry that you have a child with this man. NTA at all. Is your husband included in barely texted or called? Because I can't imagine having a newborn and one parent not being there. Why did you have to live with your parents for 2 months after giving birth? What was your husband doing? OP replies. My husband did text and keep in touch while I was at my parents'. I stayed there for like 2 months BC. Honestly his parents baby him too much so he didn't really help the baby. It's our first kid and I was super stressed. No one was helping chores or cooking or anything, and my parents were like just come home so we can help you. So I did. TBH I'm kinda sad about how clueless he is as a dad. Like he plays CS2 at night and talks loud as hell while the baby's sleeping. We share one room so there's no separate space for his gaming either. It's just exhausting. Next story. Am I the a-hole for ignoring my family after they excluded me from Christmas, again? For context, I, 29F, have not been on great terms with my family for a long time. My mom has spent most of my life doing everything she can to tear me down, and as of now I haven't spoken to her in almost 3 years. I have an okay relationship with my brother, 32M, and I love my dad even though he enables my mom and never stands up for me BC he doesn't like to rock the boat. Until a few months ago I lived pretty close to my parents, but I recently moved across the country and I don't have any friends or family anywhere near my new home. I love holidays and celebrations, but no one else in my family does. When I was younger they used to make fun of me or get frustrated when I would try to be festive around Christmas, and eventually I stopped trying. For the past decade my family hasn't done anything for any holiday, and I have become okay with that. However, my brother, who lives in a different state, got divorced a couple years ago and his ex took their house, so my parents bought a duplex in his town so that he could live on one side with my 4-year niece, and they could live part-time on the other. They still have their house in my hometown that they live in most of the year, but the last 2 years my parents have gone up to stay in their side of the duplex for the whole month of December, and they've celebrated Christmas with my brother and niece. Last year they didn't even tell me that they were going. I found out from my dad's FB. It hurt that they decided to celebrate Christmas all together and didn't even tell me, but I shook it off. This year though, they did it again. My dad called me on Christmas Eve and told me how much fun they were having as a family, then asked me what I was doing for Christmas. I told him I was doing nothing. I don't know anyone in my new city and my family is all celebrating Christmas without me. He paused like he didn't consider that, then quickly got off the phone. He later sent me a selfie of them all together saying Merry Christmas from Brothers State. I didn't answer. Actually, I stopped answering at all. My dad and I usually talk 2 to 3 times/week to check in, but he's called me once and texted me twice and I haven't answered since Christmas Eve, 7 days ago. I've also not been posting on my socials, and given that I'm not answering him or posting and I'm all alone in a city far away, he really doesn't know if I'm alive or dead. He texted me yesterday saying please tell me if you're okay and I haven't responded. I know it's petty but I'm really hurt that I wasn't even thought of for the family holiday. Even if I was invited I probably wouldn't have gone just because I don't want to be around my mom, but being left out entirely really hurts, and having them rub my face in it with their selfie is even worse. I've been ignored by my family for my whole life and I'm tired of trying. I don't know how to say this to my dad and I don't want to talk to him until I know what to say. Am I the a-hole by maintaining my silence? I can hear your pain in your words and I'm sorry that you're going through this. However, if the situation with mom is that toxic, did you want to be invited, just so that you could turn it down? The question is, what type of a relationship do you really want with brother and or dad, when it's, unfortunately clear where their choice, between you and mom, seems to lay? I know that it's hard to build family, but it seems that that is what you need to do for yourself, especially now that you have space. Get involved in life in your new state, volunteer, pick hobbies that will you get out of the house and meeting people, build the family that you want. Back to your question. You're NTA for wanting to separate yourself from a bad situation, and you're human in that you want that connection with your family, even when they treat you poorly. But expecting them to extend an invitation, knowing that you won't go, is being toxic to yourself. It's allowing you to wallow in the situation rather than moving forward with your life. It's understandable that you want to ignore your family, and it may be time for a frank conversation with dad. But before you do that, my question to you is, do you really want a full and complete break with dad? Even if temporary? Because that seems to be where you are, but hidden in your post is clearly the desire for connection with family. If so, something along the lines of, Dad, you know that my relationship with mom has not been the best growing up, and while I do love you and want a relationship, it hurts to be constantly reminded that I've never been the priority. I know that you thought you were being kind by reaching out and telling me how much fun you all were having together at Christmas, but in reality, it hurt that I was finding out after the fact and that I wasn't invited. It was salt in a wound, especially as I've just moved and don't have a set of friends here yet to celebrate the holidays with. I love you, Dad, but it's clear that you'll always choose mom over me. I accept that that's just the way things are. But I need time and space to build my life and find friends to share it with without being reminded of what I don't have with mom. The thing that you need to be careful of is that by drawing a line in the sand, he may take you at your word. Are you really ready for a full and complete break from your family? If not, you need to temper whatever message you send to him with clear expectations of what kind of contact that you do want. I'm open to checking in with you every couple of months, or I look forward to being in touch for birthdays. I wish you well as you navigate this challenge, and I hope you find the new family that you need. I think we might have the same family. I'm the black sheep and it saddened me for years. I tried to be a part of the family, calling, sending presents/postcards, to no avail. I just wanted to be loved and accepted. When one of my brothers passed away, my dad called a week after his funeral and said, I thought you might want to know. This is when I knew I'd never be a part of this family. I decided to move on without them and live my life to the fullest. If they called, great, and if not, great. It was like a huge burden was lifted off my shoulders, the black cloud that followed me disappeared. They are toxic and dysfunctional. Mom has a mean streak and dad is spineless, allowing her cruelty. There are some moms, such as mine, that only honor the boys and neglects the girls in the family. You don't need this crap. Move on without them. Let the pain go. It may take some therapy to heal. You have been traumatized your whole life. Focus on healing you. Focus on the life you envision for yourself. Love and celebrate you. You are special. You are strong to have endured such crap. I know the road you are on, the road less traveled, and it is a road full of adventure, twists and turns, personal growth, and self-love. Celebrate Christmas, put up a tree, decorate, put on some music, invite people over, or just relax and enjoy the atmosphere you created. Update. I didn't think my post from last year was that interesting, but a surprising number of people have asked me for an update, so here it is. After a couple weeks of radio silence, I followed some good advice from my original post and texted my dad to tell him it hurt my feelings that they left me out. He half apologized, and life went on. A lot of people pointed out that while my family was toxic, me ignoring my dad was also pretty toxic, and they were right. My family is super passive aggressive, and that is the only way I'd ever learn to handle conflict. And to answer some more comments, I have been in therapy for about 6 years, and after last Christmas I started working with my therapist on how to do healthier confrontation. It's still not something I'm super comfy with, but I'm getting better. I've also made a good number of friends in my new city and am doing pretty well, all things considered. With my family, at the end of the day nothing has changed. They didn't really acknowledge my 30th birthday in spring, and most recently when I invited my dad to my grad school graduation next year, he told me that he couldn't commit to it right now because he's waiting to see if something that he'd rather do comes up. My brother said he'd come, but he's already gone from a yes to a maybe, so I don't have high hopes. The good news is that it finally hurts less because I have more or less given up on having a real relationship with them. I'm never going to be loved or cared about by them the way I want to be, and I've come to accept that. As of now I have no plans for Christmas this year, but it's okay. My family sucks, but I'm really lucky in my friends, and I'm grateful for that. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not crocheting a blank for someone I don't know? Hi. I am a 19F, avid crocheter. I have been doing this for roughly 5 years consistently. It's my favorite hobby. For context, I am currently in college, and in my writing class there is this girl who I have had maybe 5 full conversations with her. We are 100% not friends or acquaintances. We are doing a compare and contrast essay on 2 random things. I chose to do types of yarn because I know it like the back of my hand. My teacher jokingly asked me if I was going to bring him a crocheted blanket to show off for the class, and I was joking back. After class this girl comes up to me and asks if I can crochet her a blanket for free because you seem to do it all the time, so it can't be that hard. I laughed because I seriously thought she was joking. She was not. She got mad at me after I told her no and then called me selfish. I told her I don't know her and I am not comfortable making her something like that. Some people in class are telling me suck it up and just do it so she could stop complaining, but the other half agree and think it's weird that she's asking me to do it. Am I the a-hole here? I feel bad for saying no, but I also don't owe her anything. Crocheting a blanket is a big project. Even if it was a small project, it would be a rude thing for an acquaintance to ask for it for free. And yes, she is an acquaintance. NTA. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel. Our posts